Hey guys! First of all, sorry about the lighting, the one side brightness, but I'm not that fancy. I don't have like these nice lights. So sorry about that, and sorry for all of this in advance, because this might be long. So yeah, as you know, my computer's garbage and I can't edit anything. So this is my attempt to fill you in on everything that's been happening in a year as quick as possible without making a complete idiot of myself. So this is not my first attempt, not gonna lie. So yeah, okay, so where to start? The majority of you know that I used to go to Liberty, and I just went there for like a couple years, and for so many reasons it just wasn't a good fit for me, and I was looking for a way out while I was there. I didn't want to just quit school and like pick up on some random banal job, and I didn't want to just be stranded either. So I was doing what I could to like try to find jobs that I wanted to do, which mainly had to do with the longboard industry. Again, if you know me well enough, you would know that my dream and passion has been to work in the longboard industry and like get in with like a small business and help it grow. And mainly just because I love the sport, I love the people, and yeah, just a lot of fun. Sorry about that, by the way, the small belch. These are the candid things that you guys get to see, because I'm poor, can't afford a new computer. Anyway, so yeah, I was going to Liberty for a couple years and it just wasn't going very well, so I was looking for other opportunities, and yeah, that was kind of the cycle for like a solid year in 2016. And things finally changed. Doors started opening when I went back to France for the winter break in 2017, and so that's like the start. Yeah, that's just the start. The foundation of all of it. That's the premise. So while I was over there in France, I was helping out for the JMK Warner conference, which was, as always, a lot of fun, and it was actually thanks to a good amount of you guys who helped me. Supported me financially to get over there, so thank you for that. And also more of that to come possibly, so stay tuned. Yeah, so I was over there, had a good time, and while I was over there, there was this family, and I'm not sure if I don't think I got consent to like say their names or anything like that. So I'm just, everyone who I mentioned is going to be fairly anonymous and vague, and if they give me the okay to mention them, I'll name them out in the next video that I make, the more artsy one, as I'm calling it. But anyway, so there's this family over there who was testing out the mission field, and so they came over to our camp to just help us out. And so they were there, and I was having a conversation with someone else actually about me not necessarily wanting to go back to school at Liberty, but also not really having any other potential doors opening. And so the woman, the wife, was overhearing me having that conversation, and so she just kind of pulls me to the side and says, "Hey, I know a business owner who owns a coffee shop in Colorado Springs, and I'm good friends with them, and so I can just put in a good word for you, and you definitely get the job." And so again, if you know me, I'm going to be saying that a lot. If you know me, you know that I was a barista and kind of a coffee snob, as some people would say, and I enjoyed being a barista. I really liked making coffee, and I did it with a friend of mine in Texas, and it was a lot of fun. And so not only was it an open door to get out of Liberty, but it was also it was in a job that I enjoyed. It wasn't necessarily longboarding or anything, but the Colorado scene has a lot of longboarders and good mountains, obviously, and a few businesses. And so for me, that was just a really clear open door, and like just light bulb went off, and I was like, heck yes, sign me up. And so pretty much that was it. I quit school within that week, and then when I went back, after the winter break, I packed everything up and I moved to Colorado, and I started working as a barista at this little coffee shop called Jives. And if you're ever in Colorado Springs, you should definitely go visit them, tell them hi, and yes, it'd be a good old time. So that's how I got to Colorado, and that's what I started doing. I worked as a barista for about 6 months, all the way till June of 2017. And I also worked at like a Zoomies during that time too, and there's really not much interesting stories to be told about that. And so that's how all things started. There's questions a lot of people ask if where I've been living, where I've been staying, if I've been homeless. I've bounced around a lot, I'm not gonna lie. There's been times where I have been homeless. Yes, I've had to live in my car. And really wasn't that bad, don't worry. Like, it was actually a fun experience and humbling, and it made me appreciate a lot of what I do have. So during that time when I first moved here, I stayed a lot with my cousins, which I'm eternally grateful for them. Thank you so much, family, for letting me stay with you guys. And they helped me get on my feet. I stayed with them for like a couple of months, I'd say. And a few times, every time I was in a transition, I would usually crash at their place for like a week or so. And there was a lot of transitions in this past year, trust me. So I stayed with them, and then I was looking for apartments where people live. Rent is really steep here in Colorado, so I was going to have to know someone, and I didn't know anybody, so it was kind of tough. But I was doing my best trying to like make some contacts and find people who would know someone who was looking for a roommate kind of situation. And the same family who hooked me up with this job as a barista also knew this other family who owns a relatively big house, and they rent their basement, which isn't a basement, it's like another house in itself or apartment. And they rent it to, usually students or interns, but they said that, since they know them, they're friends, they could recommend me. And the way actually this family who got me hooked up with the coffee job, they all three knew each other. It was like a triangle of friendships, and they all knew each other because they all went to language school together in France. So that's kind of cool how I just kind of got connected with all that, and they were all because we had this French thing in common. So I got connected with this other family, met them, had a couple dinners, and for me it clicked. Like, I felt like even if I wasn't going to live with them, which didn't look like it was going to happen at first for like a couple weeks, I knew that even though I wasn't going to live with them, that I was going to be involved. Like, they were going to definitely be a part of my life, and I didn't know how that was. It was just a feeling I had, and it turns out I was extremely right. They pretty much became like my foster family, and I love them so much. And I stayed with them all the way through June as well, and even then some when I came back from France. So that's a good segue. In June, I dropped the coffee job, and they said I could come back and get employed for sure, no problem. And so I went over just to help out at the camp, and I helped out in the summer, the English camps, adult camp, family camps, and I also got to help with my mission organization's conference with the youth called the GEMK conference, which I've had a hand in for a good while as well. So that was a good time, and again, that was all made possible thanks to you guys, and I'm so grateful, and I appreciate it every single time. It's a massive blessing. It just shows how there's so much that I don't control, and yet it all gets taken care of because God's good, basically. So yeah, thank you again for being able to support me for that. And so I was able to be over there, and I spent a good summer. And while I was there, I was also trying to look for these longboard businesses that were in Colorado. I was just getting back to them and saying, if they need work, if they're looking for people. And there was this one longboard company that started to get a little interested. And so that's when I came back. That's what I moved to. Instead of going back to being a barista, which I did love, I decided to pursue this longboarding call with this company called BoardLife Skate Shop and BoardLife Factory. Both were, it's interesting. It's like a factory within the shop, but they're kind of like two separate things, but at the same time they're one. It's very interesting, and they're both located actually in Denver. And the shop itself has been around for a while, but the factory is only like a couple. We're running on our 2nd year, so it's really cool to get in with like this small business, a growing business on like a ground floor level. Very beneficial, and it's been really cool learning process, and there's so much dreaming that goes on in this factory, and we try to always figure out new ways to, you know, bring income, but it's more of like, what can we create, who can we help, who can we pull up with us, and it's always just a lot of fun. So yeah, I landed like a 2-month internship with them, and it was great. I was working full-time there, and it was just, like I said, it was just so much fun to create and think of new ideas to bring in business, and I was able to have a hand in pretty much all of it. I mean, I was an apprentice of the business side and like the sales rep sides, and I was also learning how to make longboards, and that's still what I do. Everything has to do with making these boards. If you want, and I very much recommend you going to check out the website and like the boards that we sell. All of them, I made it, you know, and it's just really cool. I made it with the team, obviously, but it's just really fun to think that, you know, I'm creating something and we get to put it out there. And at the same time, I get to think about ways to make more business come in. I get a chance to talk to these big companies, and it's a lot of fun. And it's like, for me, it's like meeting superstars and talking to these, you know, people who I thought were way up here, and yet now I get to talk to them as if they're on my level and talk about business and collaborations, and it's a lot of fun. And that's still what I do, except for now that my internship is over, and there's still kind of a small business until we get more business and gain more momentum, which we are doing. I'm on a part-time scale, and so I've been doing that, and I juggle other works here and there when I can to help make ends meet. A little hop back real quick to when I returned from France. Before this all was a possibility, it took like 3 months for it to become theoretical, for me theoretically working with them to like actually working with them. It was like a 3-month process, and during that time I actually helped the family out. The family who I was staying with, they were invested in a hippotherapy ranch, and if I get the rights, I'll give a lot of details about why they're doing such things. But during that time, to help me out financially, they also offered me a place to stay, and I worked constructing a house for them, which was really fun. I learned a lot actually from doing that as well. Then hop back forward to now the present day, to where I continue to make boards and try to, you know, get our brand out there. All my bosses and even some of my coworkers have their own brands of skateboards and longboards, and so it's fun to watch them grow and help push their brands out there to other businesses and be representative for them as well. And, you know, maybe one day I'll be able to start my own thing. That's definitely still something in the back of my mind, would be to start my own brand and put it more towards causes and things like that, and just like keep that more of a passion project while I continue to work for this company. And, you know, whichever brand tends to grow more, I would focus more of my time on helping it, you know, get even bigger. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what's been going on around here. I mean, I got a place closer to Denver, because the commute to and from Colorado Springs to Denver would have been horrendous. But yeah, I got a place up here in North Glen, which is like 15 miles north, and it's nice to finally have a place where I can unpack my car, because my car was like packed for. My car's been packed full of my stuff more than it hasn't. But yeah, so it's nice to finally unpack everything. My room's kind of atrocious right now, so I'm not going to show you it, but I will, you know, in my other video, hopefully give you a little tour of where I live, and by then, you know, who knows, I might be living somewhere else, but hopefully I'll be doing the same job. I feel like, I keep telling myself that if I'm still doing what I'm doing, even within the next couple of years, you know, hopefully, then that means I'm doing something right. That means the company's growing, and I'm helping it happen. And it's just a lot of fun to meet these people and just kind of get invested in this crowd and skate with them, and just think about the ways to make business grow. And every day I'm super thankful that this is my life, and took a lot of risks. Did a lot of bold moves, took a lot of sacrifices. I definitely, had to suffer through a few things, eat a lot of carrots, as my dad would say, but it's definitely been worth it. It's worth, me personally, it's worth to kind of suffer on a more physical level, and have to live on tight budgets and stuff. And I'd rather do that and do something I love doing, and feeling that I'm actually growing in, and I just feel like I'm doing what I was supposed to do, I've been created to do, than for me to be comfortable and suffering through something that I didn't ever feel called to. I'm not saying that I'm nixing school. Like, if the opportunity to go back to school is a thing, I will, but it's just gonna have to also juggle with this work that I'm doing. So, part-time student or online or something like that. I'm not nixing school, but when I was at Liberty, I never felt called there, and I felt like this was the next thing, and it's so far so good. I've been provided for, I've been taken care of, and I just love what I'm doing. And yeah, so just keep listening to that call, guys. Let's see, I think that's about it. That's everything else that's been going on in the past year, and hopefully there'll be many years where I get to continue doing this. Either that, or I will feel a different passion and a different call elsewhere, and I'll bring you guys along that journey too. And I'm very excited regardless. But yeah, thank you for listening. I hope that you enjoyed this very long ramble, and I hope that it was intriguing and interesting. Again, please check out everything that I mentioned. Jives, give them some love, and check out BoardLife Factory and BoardLife Skate Shop on their social medias and on their website. And if you longboard and you want a longboard, I can hook you up, and you can get one that's handmade by yours truly and other skaters. But yeah, it's a lot of cool things going on around here. And yeah, let me know if there's other things you guys want to know. This is a fun thing. I kind of enjoy doing this. I always considered doing stuff like this, but never actually did. But if you like it, and if this is an easier way of you figuring out what I'm doing with my life, then I shall do this, because I know that I'm horrible at writing you guys back, or just telling anyone what I'm up to in general. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was educational. My more artistic video will come up hopefully before it gets too old news, but I don't know when I'll be able to edit again, but hopefully it'll be sooner than later. And stay tuned for another little video about me potentially going back to France. And if you want to help me out with that, go watch the next video whenever that comes up, and it should be soon. And just maybe consider helping me go back to France to help out with the camps again. I'm fully confident that it's possible. Every time I tell people, like, oh, I don't know if I'll be able to, make the funds or find time off work, and it always happens. And so I firmly believe that it can happen this time as well. And I definitely have faith in that, and I have faith in you guys, and I thank you so much for supporting me and caring. And thanks for being around, and I'm gonna go. It's super late, so I'm gonna sleep now, so bye!